For those that just joined, well, actually,
Camera's not on.
we just joined. Yeah, it is.
Is that the red means we're recording?
Oh, yeah, it's recording.
Oh.
We're recording. We're live.
Oh, we're live?
Yeah.
Well, welcome, baby.
We're live. So why people jump on, let me just say, this is the Husker Nation, Tommy Frazier's Husker Nation podcast. And it's, as what do you call
Live.
it? What'd you call it? Depression Sunday?
Depression Sunday.
Depression Sunday. I'm Dan Powers, is sitting with
Yours truly.
Tommy Frazier.
Yours truly in the house after a week of being sick. Finally back on the air.
I feel like I'm hungover.
From
I'm
what?
not sick, but I feel like traveling.
Oh, you hung over from the pumpkin patch last night.
Pumpkin
the bonfire.
patch. Yeah, I saw this game. I see nothing. Nothing.
Well, I saw it all.
I mean, I should have, and I know it was a huge game, but I've been gone for 7 days, and the family wanted to go to the pumpkin patch, so I did the right thing.
Yeah, you did the right thing by going to spend quality time with the family.
I did.
And I did the right thing by going to the game and watching it.
I had the phone in my pocket close by. I was refreshing the score constantly.
Yeah, well, you refreshed it enough to where it's the same thing happened, the same mistakes happen, the same results. Nebraska loses at home and losing in an embarrassing fashion, in my opinion, at home. Nebraska got to get back to the point where they defend their house. If you want to be a successful team, you got to win the ones at home. You can't lose at home, and it's happening too often to where Nebraska is losing home games, and I think that's got to change there.
All right, let's see real quick. Agreed. First of all, that's what Justin just said too. Agreed. So Barbara, Julian, Chris, Justin.
Good morning to everyone. I know it's Sunday morning. Everyone's hungover from late night getting back home if you went down to the game. But
a night game at that, so I'm sure there was plenty of time to tailgate.
Oh, there's plenty of time I think we got down there like at 2 o'clock and 1:30, 2 o'clock, and we went until I actually was back home by 11:30. I actually left the fourth quarter and I got on the interstate and.
Well, it was a good. This was a good opportunity. First of all, night games are always kind of fun and plenty of time to tailgate, enjoy the atmosphere, and then it sets it up. If Nebraska would have won this game, like the possibilities, it would have been interesting to see what the mind shift would have been of the average Husker fan in this nation. But we're not going to talk about that because it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Nebraska didn't win it, and that's the one thing that's bothered me more than anything about this team, about what the program is right now, to where they can't seem to get out of their own way. And if people understand what I'm saying about that, to where instead of them making their opportunities, they're creating opportunities for other teams. And teams in the past and I go back and I wasn't a big fan of Bo Pelini, that type of deal. But the one thing, his teams create opportunities for themselves. Well, this team is always creating opportunities for the visiting teams. And that's got to change. That mentality's got to change. And people want to talk about coaching, and part of it is coaching. But it comes a point in time when you're an athlete and when you're part of a team to where you got to step up and say, we got to do this. We got to go out there and create our own opportunity. We got to stop beating ourselves. And until this team decides that, you're gonna get the roller coaster ride that you see game in and game out, to where they play well part of it and they play bad part of it. And so it's just one of those deals to where the mentality of this team, to where I don't know if they say they have leaders. But where are those leaders at?
Nah, this team is full of little boys.
Where are they?
They're little boys. They're not leaders. They're not men. So I think back to the 90s, and I know I hate to compare and everything, but it feels like the whole coaching staff could have not been on the sideline, and we would have represented well. No, maybe not won, but we would have represented well. Like there was men on the field, there was leaders on the field, and this game, it doesn't matter who's on the sideline. We got a bunch of boys, little boys on there. And they all want,
Well, I'm not gonna call them little boys. I'm calling.
I did. I did. I'll say it.
You said it. You said it.
Just saying the truth.
I'm gonna say this. I think we have a lot of players who are looking for someone else to make the play instead of going out there and making the play themselves.
Which is crazy being a player, right?
And that's what's frustrating, to where which guy's gonna step up and take the bull by the horn and say, I got this. I'm gonna make sure that this doesn't happen again. And everyone looks at the quarterback. It might start there, but maybe not. Maybe it could start on a special team play. Maybe it could start on a defensive lineman making a play. Anybody can step up and make a play. It doesn't have to be one guy. And I know everyone's looking at the quarterback position, but they have what they have right now.
Yeah.
And until they realize that maybe they might start getting another guy ready. And I'm not saying you need to pull a guy, but get another guy ready. Because he didn't play well. He didn't play bad last night. He still had 50% completion passes for over 250 yards passing. But it still goes back to he's helping another team by throwing pick sixes. And people can say, well, the running back didn't get his head around fast enough or drop the ball. At the end of the day, you still got to make that throw. And you still got to catch it. That's a perfect opportunity right there for one of those kids to make a play. And it just didn't happen.
What was interesting is this. If you look by the stats, right? I didn't see the game, but I did. But looking at the stats, Tanner outperformed, their quarterback.
He did.
He clearly outperformed. But that wasn't their game plan.
Their game plan is to sit back and we're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball. I think they threw the ball on the last 35 plays. I think they threw the ball 3 times. They rushed the ball 32 out of 35 plays in the second half.
They only threw the ball 17 times the whole game.
Yes. So I just think that someone has to step up and make a play. And we don't have that guy doing that. You can't, and it goes back, and for me, it goes back to, once again, okay, Nebraska goes down and scores. 10-7. Down 10-7. Now, here we go. We're back in the game, and then defense gives up a long drive, and they answer the call. Right, there would have been a perfect opportunity for someone to step up and say, now we have momentum. Now we're in the game. Because Nebraska hadn't played well the whole first half. You're down 10-7. You just scored.
Yeah.
Now Wisconsin answers back with a touchdown drive themselves.
How in the world are we allowing that pick six over and over and over every week against every team? It seems like what in the world is.
I'm the type of person that I just don't get it. When you talk about down and distance and whether you throw the ball here, run the ball there, or you do this, you do that. And I'm a firm believer. And I watched a lot of college football this weekend, and when teams got 3rd and 2, they ran the football.
Well, Zeepo averaged 5 yards a carry.
They ran the football. And especially right there, it's the first drive of the game. You got momentum. The crowd's into the game. The crowd was into the game. You're in field goal range. I'm not saying you're going to hit the field goal, but you got a chance to take the first down, put points on the board, and you throw the ball. There's 2 things that can happen bad right there. 2 things. Incompletion or interception. Why not run the football, get the first down? Now you got 3 downs to play. You're guaranteeing yourself points. That's what I'm critical about, to where there are times where I understand sometimes what they're trying to do, but you're 3rd and 2. In scoring position, and you throw a ball out to the flat like you did weeks before, and it's pick 6. Because when you throw the ball into the flat like that, you have, and the guy interceptions, there's no one who's going to catch him. There's no protection there. Now, if you say you throw the ball down in the end zone, at least you got a chance to tackle him and force the offense to score. But you're going to lose game time in and time out if you continue throwing balls in the flat like that, and they intercept them off. And I don't care whose fault it is. You can say it was the running back's fault. You can say it's the quarterback's fault. I'm going to say it was a play calling fault. Because if you run the football there, that play never happens. Now, he probably could have fumbled the ball and they picked it up and returned it for a touchdown. But I haven't seen Nebraska fumble the ball much this year from the running back's position. So we got to be, so Nebraska has to be smart about, do not take points off the scoreboard. And they're doing it time and time again.
I'm not a coach. I'm not a player. But that seemed like a crazy call. Wait, what did you tell me Larry the Cable Guy said? What was it like?
He did a little nursery around. But Violets are red, Violets are blue, 3rd and 2, throw the ball. What would you do?
Yeah.
And so this is coming from people who are just fans.
Just fans.
And this has nothing to do with going back to run the ball or throwing the ball. It's about being smart, understanding where your team is mentality-wise.
Yeah.
Where the crowd is mentality-wise. Because I guarantee if Nebraska would have scored points on there, I think the outcome of the game Nebraska probably would have lost the game, but it would have been a different outcome. It would have been an outcome when it comes to just the margin. It comes to how enthused the fans were in the game.
All right, let me see what we got here. People tired of waking up to another Husker loss. Justin Weberg. It's his birthday. I forgot. Dude, I totally.
Well, happy birthday,
I was traveling.
Justin.
I owe you a beer. I know Justin very well. I owe him a beer.
Happy birthday.
I was on the trip. Yeah, it's not much of a birthday present either. Nebraska, a Husker beatdown.
Well, some things happen. You know what they say, crap happens. It happens. And until the mentality of the players change.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of this lackadaisical press conference, and I came the same thing. Well, we got to do better. We got to make plays. We got to stop making mistakes. People, I'm starting to see the same mistakes I've seen in week 1 and now it's week 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
When are they going to stop making excuses of what we got to do? It's time to start doing it.
Well,
this just coming from a person who played the game, and it's coming from people that athletes I talk with. Because I talk with people from all over the country. Because, people are truly interested to see how Nebraska does. Because they want Nebraska to do well. They want Nebraska to be one of the top programs in the country again.
I traveled and I talked to guys this week. I talked to a bunch of guys. We talked a lot about football. And they were from Oklahoma, Texas. I talked to people, a guy from Ohio State, and he just went on and on and on about how he's rooting. He's an Ohio State fan, but he's rooting for Nebraska because he wants to see the Big Ten, the success of the Big Ten. He's like, right now, the West Division – outside of Wisconsin
it's not very good.
It's not good.
It's not good.
They need Nebraska to step up.
And that's why the Big Ten brought Nebraska in for that tradition. Nebraska has always been a national power. And so that's what we're rooting for. This is not me saying this as a former player. This is me saying this from a college football fan who understands the landscape that America, college football, wants Nebraska to be good.
Yeah.
They do.
I think they do.
That's the one team out of anyone out there they want to see good. Why? Because it's in the middle of the United States with the tradition, the fans, and everything that's going on here. If Nebraska's good, college football is having a great year.
Yeah.
From the Midwest side of it, and right now people are hurting for Nebraska more than you know.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I heard it over and over and over, but
and we haven't even talked about this. Offline.
No, we haven't.
Normally you and I have conversations during the week doing text, but we haven't talked about this. And so this is a topic that's coming up from, like you say, Oklahoma, even my buddies who live in Florida. They can care less as Miami or Florida State or a national power.
Yeah.
But when Nebraska's doing well, people are excited because they say, well, college football, not a national, the true traditional football powerhouses are back.
Yeah.
But it's not looking that way. And it's going to have to start from the players. Having the heart, the soul, the guts to when they're out in the field, no matter what, lay it out on the line. And I don't see that. I don't see that in the mentality of the players. It's like, we lost another game. I don't think they're, and I'm not going to say because they might be hurting, but just looking from outside in.
Yeah.
I don't think this really affects them as much as it should.
If you lost the game back then, what did that mean to you?
Oh, it was like somebody died.
Yeah.
As a team, it was somebody died. I don't see that mentality in this team. So that's got to change right there, in my opinion. And we can say it's coaching. We can say it's leadership and administration. We can say it's leadership at the university. We can say that it's the negative fan base, whatever.
Yeah.
It starts with those players because they're the ones out there playing the game. And until they decide that, you know what, we control what happens on that field. No fan, no coach, this. When that player's left the sideline, it's up for us to execute. And if they're not executing the plays, then you blame it on the players. Don't blame it on the coaches because the coaches can't throw a ball. The coaches can't catch a ball. The coach can't tackle for you.
Yeah.
All I can do is give you the best game plan that they come up with and try to give you the right plays versus certain deep. But as an individual, as a man, you got to get out there and say, enough of this crap is enough. We got to stand up. We got to stay firm. We got to become Banner Roosters. Which I didn't know what that was until Coach Osborne said in the pregame.
Banner Roosters?
A Banner Rooster. It's a fighting rooster or whatever they call it. Yeah. And you can say they're fighting, which could be true. But the outcome of what we're seeing doesn't look like they're fighting all the time. Is the scheme too difficult? I don't know. But do something that they can do and do it well. And I don't know if they are doing the things they do it well. And I said it last year, and I said it the year before that, and I said it many years. I'm gonna say it again. If your team can't run your base offense or your base defense, with their eyes closed and know what on every formation or who they're blocking, you're doing too much. There's no company out there that's going on advance. Facebook started a certain way. They had their base stuff, and when they mastered their base stuff, then that's when Facebook started adding a little more things to their deal. But I guarantee if you go right down to the founders of Facebook, they'll tell you how they started, and they didn't move forward until they got the base stuff perfect. I don't see that.
It's any business, right? Like any business, we're going to do the same thing. If you're going to have a successful team, you're going to get your core strong, your foundation set, and you're going to take strategic chances in certain areas and grow and do things. But you got to have, that's what Wisconsin is what we used to.
I think Wisconsin might have ran 5 run plays, but they just ran them out different formations. They ran 5 run plays, maybe 6, but they just ran them out different formations. That's what Nebraska has to do. Stop trying to do all this bunch stuff. If your offensive line is not blocking well, why are you going to bunch them in? Spread them out. The more guys are in the box, the tougher it is going to run. The less guys are in the box, the easier it's going to run. Okay? Because if you put 4 receivers out, spread them out, they can't have 4 guys. They're going to have to spread out too. Because they got to cover the field.
Man, Mandy says it was embarrassing. Yeah. Thomas says, now what?
There is no now what. You just got to hope they improve. They learn from the mistakes.
Mandy asked also if we're going to win any more games.
Yeah, we're going to win more games. You're not going to win this week. If you win this week, then it's like, wow. It's going to be like the Iowa State-Oklahoma Vic upset this weekend. But I firmly believe that Ohio State is on a run right now. I think the Ohio State might be the best team in the Big Ten. I think they're
Ohio State.
I do, just based off what I saw on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah,
they might have one of the best defenses in the country.
It'd be interesting. I don't know when them and Penn State play. But
they play later this year.
That'll be an interesting game.
It'll be an interesting game, but I think
that's probably the decision maker.
I think that game is in Columbia, in Ohio State. So I think it's going to be a night game.
Yeah,
it's going to be a night game.
Sure.
So, but next week I think it's going to be. I think Nebraska just be prepared. The fans better be prepared to say, okay,
what's this skirt? Oh, go ahead.
Let's go in here. Let's not embarrass ourselves. We know we're not going to win this game, but give yourself a chance. Go out and compete.
That's what I'm worried about. Is they're not going to give themselves a chance. They're going to play risk mitigation, and they're going to go in there and say, how do we not get embarrassed? And they're going to go in with the wrong mentality.
Right. Because we all knew that this 2-game stretch here was going to be difficult for Nebraska to win them both.
Really difficult.
We knew that. But if they play tough, if last night Nebraska would have lost what it was, 38-27, I think Nebraska fans would have woke up and say, you know what? Wow. Well, they are the number 19 ranked team in the country. No one gave us a chance, but we played them tough. We covered the point spread. We played tough. Hey, we had a few mistakes. I
was pretty excited when I was looking at the score. Like, it wasn't that bad until in the fourth quarter. Then it really started to...
Do you know how many total offense Nebraska had in the second half? I think I heard this report right.
Total offense?
Total offense. I think they had 6 to 8 yards in the second half total offense. And I thought I heard that on a radio station driving back home and one of the post game, out the game reports. But I think they had 6 to 8 yards in the second half of total offense.
I don't see if I can find the breakdown, but that's unacceptable.
That's unacceptable right there. You're not going to win games. You're not. If your defense is staying on the field, and defense has got to do a better job of getting off the field themselves. But that means you're not getting very many first downs. So you're 3 and out a lot. So defense got to go right back on the field. But 6 to 8 yards, I think, is a stat that I heard. Wow.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I don't see it here, but if that's true, that's completely unacceptable.
And I could be wrong, but I thought I heard that.
Well, we didn't move the ball much second half.
No.
I mean, we went into it was when we scored the 17. We scored right before half.
It was a pick six.
Yeah,
it was a pick six. So we scored 10 points on offense, and it was a pick six.
Terrible
by Aaron Williams. He in the third quarter where we tied the game up 17-17. Then Wisconsin comes back and answers the touchdown with a touchdown. And then the fourth quarter, here we go. We're gonna line up. We're gonna pound you.
Brandon said it's coaching, plain and simple. I don't think it's just that.
Yeah, there's more than just coaching.
There's something else. There's a whole culture.
There's a whole culture there. I mean, coaching, yes, is part of it. But as a coach, you still got to trust that your players can do the plays and the players aren't making the plays. So once that play is called, you got to take coaching out of it. Now it becomes individually. Am I doing my job to make sure that we're successful?
So if Brandon's right here, Brandon said here's a stat that no one's talked about or knows. Since Nebraska has joined the Big Ten, Wisconsin has averaged nearly 500 yards rushing per game.
I believe that.
Wow.
I believe that.
That's interesting.
But they've always had a running back close to over 200 yards.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me. Wow. Same team, different defenses, same culture.
The O-line, let's see, Robert says, the O-line that has been recruited, not saved on the Pelini recruits or sophomores, Rich. I'm trying to get to the question. I'm not sure where you're going with that, Robert. It's long. It's too hard to read. Wisconsin's running back had 28 yards for 249 yards. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had 25 carries for 249 yards.
Casey says the coaching staff hasn't set high expectations.
Well, once again, I don't know if I agree with that or not. I don't think there's any coach in America who doesn't want to win.
Yeah.
I seriously don't believe that. I truly believe that every coach, when they coach a game, they want to win.
Tanner asked, though, is the 3-4 defense going to be able to stop any solid running game?
No, because we don't have the players for it. We said that from the start, that you're running the defense where you don't have the mentality of the lineman for it. You can't, or the linebackers for it. And you can say, well, they have athletes. Yes, they have athletes, but are they the right athletes? You know, we got to, as Nebraska, they got to start recruiting stars. I see a lot of that going on right now. And start recruiting guys that fit your system. Wisconsin don't recruit stars.
No, they don't.
They recruit guys that fit their system.
They are Nebraska. I mean, what we used to be, it seems like they have taken that model and executed so well on it.
Yeah, because they don't care about a 5-star receiver out of. They're going to recruit him. But if they can get the guy, that's big for us.
What's their quarterback? Alex
Hornibrock, whatever his name is.
Sophomore. He was a freshman last year.
Yeah.
And they inserted him into that, and it worked perfectly. Look, he threw for, what did I say, 17 total?
17 passes and had like 113 yards passing.
It just goes to show it's not the individual players, it's the system, and what you just said. They recruited perfectly for what they need. They just insert piece.
Yes.
Somebody leaves, insert piece.
Yes, and so it's something. So for me, stop, and I think that's where it's got to get to. And recruit guys that fit your system, not because they're a 5-star.
What's crazy is they just switched. What was it? 2 years ago, they just got a brand new coach in Wisconsin.
Yeah, Paul Chris got there, and
he just took over the same system.
Yeah, he was the offensive coordinator there when they beat Nebraska by 50-some points in the Big Ten championship. He went to Pittsburgh, started turning Pittsburgh around.
Yeah,
and then the coach left, and Anderson left and went to Oregon State. They brought him back in, and nothing's changed.
I think that's where our struggle is we broke that system over and over and over.
And don't get me. I'm not saying Nebraska needs to go back to just put down
I'm not
the run.
either.
All I'm saying is that if this is your system that you want to run, then recruit the guys, offensive line wise, running back wise, quarterback wise, wide receiver wise, that can do it. Stop worrying about this 4-star, 5-star guy, this 4-star, 5-star alignment. Stop worrying about that. Get the best guys that fit your system.
Julian and what did Elizabeth? Elizabeth said Tommy for AD.
No,
I don't know if I'd wish that.
You don't want that on you. No, I don't want that headache.
Oh man,
you know it's bad when everyone's saying, well, we need a person with Husker ties, and the one guy that people thought was a favorite said he didn't want it, and he's a true Husker, and Trev Alberts.
Yeah, did he come out and say?
Yeah, he came out last week and said he's not a candidate for the job.
Can you believe?
So people, and we can talk about the Husker AD position because we don't have one right now. I don't necessarily think you need a guy with Husker ties.
Agreed.
I think you need someone who's a leader, who knows how to build, who knows how to support and make decisions that need to be made.
Yeah.
And understand the Big Ten culture, understands, hey, when you're taking this job, it's either you are the face of Nebraska. More people know the AD of Nebraska than they do know the governor.
If you get a true leader, right, the insert leader, they're going to learn who their customers are, or in this case, who the fans are, what the tradition is. They're going to figure that stuff out.
They'll figure it out.
They will figure that out.
But you need someone who's a strong leader, who can come in here and has a president who's visible.
We got to get rid of all the shenanigans and these guys that are coming in that are doing this.
Come on, look at all the great programs now that are going on. The one thing that they do have, great leadership at the AD.
Yeah.
And a lot of these schools don't have people who have ties to those universities.
And I think Mike Riley, even from a leader or coach, I love this guy, first of all. I do. I love his personality. I love him on the mic. But this isn't Oregon State. This environment is much more hostile. Expectations are higher. There's a lot of pressure. I don't know if Mike Riley deep down is strong enough at this point in his career to be able to stand there and take that control and leadership position.
I don't know if I agree with that.
And
the reason why part of me don't agree with that, because when he had to make changes, and he made them.
Fair enough.
Especially with longtime friends who were friends and coaches with him. And when it was time he saw that he needed to make a change, he made it. That to me, right there, lets you know that, hey, he's in. He's all in. Okay. Now, can he make those changes coming up in the future?
Will he get a chance?
I think he get a chance. You got to give people. I'm not here saying Mike Riley needs to be fired. No, it's his third year. It's a third year coming from a culture to where people walked on eggshells around the athlete, from administrative assistants to sports media to everybody walked on eggshells.
Yeah.
Now you have a guy where people enjoy going to work. From what I hear, I talk with people there all the time. They enjoy walking into the football offices because they know that, hey, this guy's not going to be ranting and raving and saying this. But now comes a time where he has to evaluate his coaches. And he's made statements that, hey, the offensive side of the ball is not connected right now. So right there maybe could be letting you know there could be some changes down the road.
Yeah.
I don't know, but if you listen to his press conference, I think midweek press conference or after the game last week, where he made a statement that the offensive side of the coach, they're not connecting right now. That's where it starts, and he proved to me that he's not afraid to make changes. And these are people that have been on his staff for years. But something has to change.
Well, I'd like to see Bob get. I'd hate for us to cut Bob right away. I'd love to see Mike get another year or two. I know that not everybody thinks that. People are frustrated as all hell. I'm frustrated. Like the fact that I didn't. When I flew in yesterday, and there was a debate in my head. Do I go watch the biggest game of the year so far?
Or do
I go with my kids and family? And I see my kids and family all the time. But I've been gone for a week, and I said my priorities are my kids and family, and there wasn't even a debate in my head, really.
Right.
Because I just knew deep down. Here's a great example. When I got in line to get on the plane, and the guy that's taking the tickets gets on, they announces and says, "Oh, we're boarding rows 1 through 30." And he came out and said, "Oh, if you're wearing a Wisconsin shirt, don't think you're getting on this plane early." So, and then everybody gets on the plane, and then he gets on. Here's what's crazy, or here's just states it kind of like we get on the plane, and the same guy comes on the plane, and he's like, "You guys ready for the game tonight?" And everybody's saying, "Oh yeah." Then he's like, "Who thinks the Huskers going to win?" The whole plane, almost every hand went up in that plane, and then he said, "Who bet on the Huskers to win?" Not one person. Arm, not one hand. That just shows like we all want them to win. We all want that, but we are not willing to invest, cash, right? We're not willing to put our money where our mouth is at this point of the game. So we got to give him his time. Let's see. Justin said Iowa State just proves that it starts with players. Matt says, do you think Bob Stoops, I'm assuming you're talking about Bob Stoops, would come up here? I think Bob Stoops is done.
Bob Stoops has come out in public and said when he retired from coaching. He said that last week in an interview. Why would he leave? He's a special assistant to the AD there, and he's still making his $4 million, $5 million a year.
Now, we already talked about coaching. We don't have to go in there. But I would think, it doesn't matter who we always insert. If the system and the culture is, broke, coach is a big piece of that. But I think they got to start with what they're doing right now. First of all, they started with the president, right? Yep. It all started like Liz. It's more than they did.
It was the chancellor, the president, now it's the AD.
It's a shift.
I mean, it's a shift in leadership, and the leadership at the University of Nebraska made a decision. Say, you know what? There is a cultural problem with the athletic department, so now's the time to get rid of the AD. That's the first step.
Yeah.
So now, whoever the AD is next, now he needs to come in here, and I don't think he needs to be this year. I think he needs to leave. Whoever it is, need to give him one more year. One more year, because 3 years you can't turn a program culture around in 3 years. You cannot do it. You can't switch systems in 3 years.
And it's the gauntlet next year.
Yeah.
So Jeffrey asked, what did he ask? Oh, what about conditioning? He says it looked like last night all the players were tired three quarters of the way through the third quarter.
Hey, maybe they need to get more rotation out there. Maybe don't have enough players who can go in and spell the guys out there.
What did you guys do for conditioning?
Oh, we condition every day. We gassers every day. We did some type of conditioning every day. But the problem is, it's not how much conditioning you do if you don't have backups who can go out there and spell those guys and where the talent level doesn't drop off.
Oh, tell Gabe hi. My daughter Alexandria is watching, and she says Gabe is watching, which Gabe is my son. So,
but that's what conditioning is. You know, all the great teams out there, they have guys who they can put in there and back up, and there's not a drop off. We don't have that.
John says, why can't we get Lamar Jackson at quarterback position?
You got to ask the coaches that. You got guys there. You want to bring guys from one side of the ball over to the other side. God, you got guys there that you recruited here that say, hey, these guys are great quarterbacks. Why not give those guys a chance first? If you feel it's that bad, you know, why not give Patrick O'Brien a chance?
Well, you got to
get him in the game early. I'm not just talking about in the fourth quarter when the game's out of control. I'm talking about get him in the game where it means something on the line and see how he does.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a new voice in the huddle might be what they need. I don't know.
I think that's crazy that they don't.
I don't know.
They don't give that guy a chance. And I'm not saying he's the answer, but
how do you know if you don't give him a chance? I mean,
yeah.
Have it from here on out, the third or fourth series of a game, we're going to get him in the game. Just so he can get the flow of it. Who knows? That might give a spark to it. It might force Tanner to wake up more. I don't know what the answer is, but I don't think it's good to bring guys from one side of the ball and say put him at when you got guys there, because that means if you got to bring a guy from the defense side of the ball to play quarterback, that means the guys that you have aren't very good, and you shouldn't recruit them from the start.
Fair enough. Ruckus said, "Man, we're just gonna." I don't even want to read.
Yeah,
with Scott Frost winning and Mike losing, do we see a change coming?
See, the people stop talking about that. Let me ask you, people: why do everyone think Scott Frost is the savior? Honestly, why? And I'm not saying yeah or no, but because he's doing well at Central Florida.
He needs to.
Okay, so what he's doing well at? This is a different category. Central Florida and Nebraska.
Here's what I'll say.
Different conference.
I hate the.
He has athletes in his backyard. It wasn't like he didn't have athletes when he got there. Doesn't because he's having success there now, doesn't mean that's going to translate here in Nebraska.
The talent pool down there is very different.
That's all I'm saying.
Right. You see how reserved I was even to say that.
You don't need Nebraska time. You don't need Nebraska.
Same thing.
I'm a firm believer that there's a guy out there that can come here and do just as good a job because he's proven he can do it. He's proven he can win the national championship. But we don't need to be talking about that. Why? Because Mike Riley is still a head coach at Nebraska, and I think he's going to be the head coach at Nebraska next year too.
Yeah. There you go, Mike. Mike asked some similar questions. I'm skipping all these coaching questions anymore. I'm so.
When are we going to start putting the onus on the players? A coach, like I said, a coach can only do so much.
I think the challenge is everybody can't. We can replace a coach every year. It's hard to. I think in our minds it's harder. Like we can't just replace. We got 4 years with Tanner Lee, or a couple of years with Tanner Lee, like it or not. But he could bench. He could be on the sideline.
Yeah,
he could.
If the running back's not doing well, what do? You put in a new running back.
Chris said, wait. There is an obvious lack of talent at wide receiver.
I don't agree with that. I think we have plenty of talent. I think we focus so much time on wide receiver position because we think this is a pro style offense.
Hey, Chris, you should elaborate on that. I'm not sure what he's getting at there.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of talent at wide receiver.
I think there's
plenty of talent there.
Yeah.
To me, that's probably the most talented position on the field with all the receivers that we have. But it starts from the inside out. Can you say we have plenty of talent at offensive line? I'm asking you, Facebook, do we have talent at offensive line? If you say yes, do we have enough talent? To me, that's where you need to start.
Yeah. And I think there was a couple. I'm sorry, there was a couple of you guys that talked about the offensive line that I haven't touched on yet. A lot of people said that.
That's where you start. Do we have enough talent in the defensive line? No, look at the top teams in this conference. Look at Wisconsin. Look at that defensive front. Look at the offensive line. Just look at it. I mean, those guys, and they all work together. And one guy goes down, and this guy goes in there, and they don't lose a beat. But when we get a guy injured and we put a new guy in there, it's like, will they lose a beat?
It's
chaos. It's chaos. It's mass destruction. So if you want to talk about recruiting and skill levels, Wisconsin doesn't have the best wide receivers in America. But for what they do offensively and the system they run, those wide receivers are pretty good. And by the way, they're coached by a former Nebraska coach that people thought wasn't very good, but he just goes on to Wisconsin and they're winning.
Who's that?
Ted Gilmore.
Oh, is he up there?
He's a wide receiver coach, and those guys block well, and you don't see them dropping too many balls.
Interesting.
You know, so you know, people talk about coaching and all that kind of stuff, and people talk about, you know, a guy that people didn't like here, they love him at Wisconsin.
Dude, you guys are cracking me up. Like there's just a whole thread about coaching going on. Like, I'm just skipping all over those. Let's see.
You can blame coaching all you want, but until those players step up and say, we got to do this for ourselves, we got to do this, we got to stop making mistakes, because coaches aren't on the field. I'm sorry. And I think some of it's coaching, but when you're a football player, whether you're a basketball player, you're a soccer player, or whatever kind of team sport you play in, it eventually falls on your shoulder to go out there and make the plays, not the coaches.
So Dylan, hey, I'm going to say this wrong. I'm going to say this name, Dan, I don't know. I'm saying your name wrong. Sorry, bro. He says, as crazy as it sounds, I was encouraged by what I saw last night. We've improved in many phases. Unfortunately, Wisconsin
is that much better.
Yeah.
So, much better.
I appreciate the positive, like somebody out there seeing some positive in this, because realistically, with everything changing from the president of the university and we're now at the athletic director, it's going to take time.
It's going to take time, and I just think right now changing anybody leadership at Nebraska from the football side of it is going to hurt the program even more. Because now you talk about new coach coming in here. New coach coming in, he's going to change his own. He wants his own system. He wants his own coaches. He wants to do things his way. And it's just now you're starting that cycle again.
Yeah.
Because now he's going to have quarterbacks or running backs or wide receiver or defensive guys that doesn't fit their system. So now guess what? Now you got to do what Mike Riley did the first couple of years, run an offense that suits them until they get the guy in here to run their system. So you're starting that cycle again. And 4 coaches in 10 years, why would anyone wants to come and coach here?
Well, I think Trev Alberts, right? I mean, I know he's not coming as a coach, but it's the same concept. Like, ooh, do you want to walk it? The amount of stress and pressure and hostility that comes along with a position at Nebraska right now.
Yeah. Everyone's so quick to fire someone. I mean, give people a chance. Give Coach Riley a chance. Can he do things better? I'm pretty sure he can. I'm pretty sure he knows he can do things better. We all have to evaluate ourselves.
Ooh. Grant wants to know, how many pick six do you see total this year? Like, I think some wagers are coming down on this.
Well,
who would have thought we got as many as we already have?
No one sees pick six happening. It's just happening too frequently.
What? Rob says, do we have?
Good questions, though, people. I mean, this is a good conversation here, and like I say, everyone's depressed right now.
Well,
out there, everyone wants to be someone. Every time you get to a point where you lose the way you do, everybody wants to blame someone.
Well, we've been doing this show for a few years now.
Yeah, and so we've heard it all.
It's just like to me, it feels like we're.
Even when Bo Pelini was here, it's coaching. Yeah. It's coaching. On defense, it's coaching.
We're always excited. The first 5 games of the year, there's a lot of, like, let's go record. Let's go. We're ready to record. I'll tell you, by game 6, 7, like, it's like, do you want, like, there's a little, I'm not as fired up to get on here and do these things and talk with you because we're saying the same things.
Yes.
Same things. And we're always, to next week, we should have no coaching in the conversation, no matter what.
It's not going to happen.
Like,
it's not going to happen because people
are constantly talking about it.
Here's the reason why, because people don't see Mike Riley as their coach. They don't think he can get this team motivated and fired up. But that's the reason why. But we go back to, you had a guy who embarrassed Nebraska with his antics.
Yeah.
Nebraska fans, the vast majority of fans didn't want him here because he was embarrassing Nebraska. Now you have a guy who's not embarrassing with his antics, who's very calm. He sits up in front of the media and he answers the tough questions. And now you have a vast majority of people say, well, he looks unenthused. He looks like he doesn't want to be here.
But look at Tom.
To me, that doesn't matter. I'm just talking about from coast to coast, two different style coaches, and Nebraska fans aren't happy with it. Well, he needs to be more excited. That's his personality.
Yeah,
that's his personality. You know, Bobby Bowden was the same type of person. He might get him animated a little bit here and there, but he sat back and let the coaches coach. You got to let coaches be their personnel. But here in Nebraska, we had a guy who's feisty, riled up, challenged every call by the referee, get unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah.
Oh, he's embarrassing us. He's embarrassing the program. He's embarrassing the state. But then you get Mike Riley in here, who's very calm, even keel. Don't get too excited. Don't get on the high and low. Well, he needs to show more emotion. He act like he's uninterested. He act like, what do you Nebraska fans want?
The win. That's what it is.
But you had a guy who won 9 games every year he was here, but Nebraska fans didn't want him because he was embarrassing the program with his antics. So what do you want? And I'm not saying yes to this guy, no that guy. I'm just putting it out there on the table so people will understand when you ask for something and you get it, you can't go back and say, well, we don't want this type of guy now. Because that's what's happening right now.
There's a lot of great comments coming in. I mean, just a ton. But we're 45 minutes into this, and we've talked way too much about coaching already. So here's Mandy's question. I'll just ask this, and then we can figure out where we go from here. But Mandy just says, what should be the game plan for the rest of the year at this point?
Try to win. That's the game plan. Try to win. Try to do what the players can do best and rep that and do that. That should be the game plan. Run your base stuff, run your base stuff, run your base stuff, run your base stuff. Get good at that, get good at that, get good at that. And good things usually happen. That should be the game plan. The game plan is to win, but let's do stuff that our players can do that no matter what happens, when they go out there, they can go 100%, they go full speed every play. Well, are they going to make mistakes? Sure, they're going to make mistakes. Are they going to make plays? Sure, they're going to make plays. But don't do so much to where they get confused about this scheme or that scheme, this scheme.
And there were several people that mentioned this, and I'll just add on to that. It'd be great to see more competition. Several people said, why is there not more? It doesn't appear that there's enough competition happening.
Exactly. I agree with that. Because when you got guys making the same mistakes and they're still playing.
Yeah.
So there's no competition. Well, obviously the guy who's behind them has proven that they can't go out there and get it done. And I'm a firm believer. Yes, I know practice judge people. You judge people what they do in practice. But we play with a lot of guys at Nebraska. I played with a lot of guys growing up who weren't very good practice players. But you put them on that field game day, they're gamers. And there's a lot of players like that. When the lights come on and they're playing against another team, that's when they shine. In practice, they might not be the best practice players. But if you put them on that field on game day and they're making plays, you keep them out there. Competition makes everybody better.
Yeah.
It made me better. Don't ask those running backs. Go ask Lawrence Phillips. Well, you can't ask him anymore, but ask when Lawrence Phillips, Damon Benning, Clinton Childs, Joe Makovic, Sims, Amon Green. And that running back room, how many of those guys were better because they knew they didn't get their job done? The next guy was going to step in and get it done. Competition helps. And for people to shy away from competition, then something's wrong with them competitively. Ask the linebackers, Terrell Farley, Ed Stewart, competition in the meeting rooms. When Kevin Steele coached them, what type of competition they had. That's defensive linemen. What type of competition they had. Because they're afraid if they don't perform, they're not going to get another chance and this guy's going to step in and get the job done. I don't think we have that.
I remember Damon Benning telling a story. I think he was here talking about it a couple of years ago. And he was talking about, he was so nervous just to be late for a practice.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want any red marks against him because he wanted to play. Mm-hmm. And so it was I don't care if I was sick. I don't care. It didn't matter. They were going to be at practice and give it 100% because they knew what was at risk.
Yeah.
They wanted to play.
And I just don't. I think we don't have enough competition.
Well, on that note, we're 50 minutes into this. There's still questions coming in. Somebody just asked, who's this? Michael, he just mentioned, Nebraska fans, if we keep losing, will they keep buying tickets?
Yes.
I think absolutely.
Yes.
Because they have heart. They believe. They still believe.
People still believe in Nebraska no matter what. The true fans going to stay with Nebraska no matter what. I know sometimes I seem like I'm not a true fan, but I bleed Husker Red. I'm out here fighting these battles with people from other states, other schools. And yes, am I critical sometimes? Yes, I am. But yeah. I'm no different than the fans who are asking us questions right here. I'm a fan. I'm not part of the program. I'm not there every day. So when I make comments of things that I see, and I talk with other fans. So doesn't mean I'm not a Husker fan. Doesn't mean that I don't want to see Nebraska win.
Yeah.
So I'm going to root for Nebraska when they're winning championships again. I'm going to root for them when they're not winning championships because that's what a true fan is. Now, it doesn't mean I have to like everything that's going on. So fans are still going to go because that's what Nebraskans do. They support the program.
I don't think that'll ever change.
That's not going to change.
I think the days the stadiums start to not fill is going to be because of other circumstances.
Right.
The experience at home is going to get so good or whatever that is. It's just, I don't think it's going to be a fan.
I think you're going to see what's more disappointing to me is the student session. To me, that's what's most disappointing to me, that how many students don't go to the games or leave the game early because of this, because of that.
That's a great point.
Students get tickets to where the university could sell those tickets and make profit off of them. So I think it starts there to where the students on campus got to continue supporting the team, and through good times or bad times. And I'm starting over the years, over the last 10 to 15 years, I think most of my students are fair weather fans. I do. And then I don't care who listened to them, I think they are. I remember when in the 80s, when Nebraska wasn't winning championships, but they was competing for the conference, losing to Oklahoma here, and the students still showed up.
Yeah.
That's because they wanted that experience. Now, how many students can care less whether Nebraska win or I'm not going to the game? I got other things to be doing.
Yeah, it's true. I think you do see that. There is a shift. It's the whole culture.
Yeah.
As we said at the very beginning, almost, it was like whole culture has been rocked.
Yeah.
And that's why they replaced the chancellor, right?
Mm-hmm.
The president.
Now it's the athletic director.
I mean, there's got to be a change that this university is going to continue to thrive. And at the end of the day, that's what we all want.
Yeah, we want to see all the programs.
We want to be proud of this.
We want to see baseball do well. We want to see basketball do well. We want to see the rifle team do well. We want to see the bowling team continue doing well. We want to see the volleyball team continue doing well. But only that's going to happen if you support them when things aren't going well. You just can't support them 100% when things are going great.
Yep.
They need your support more so when things aren't going great. We don't need fans booing the quarterback because he's throwing right there is when he needs your encouragement.
Yeah. We're in my opinion, we're way too hard on some of these players now.
Yeah.
Way too hard. And don't get me wrong, I would have loved to see
some of it is earned.
Yeah. But Jesus, we're getting way too hostile sometimes.
Yeah, and what people don't understand, and when fans boo their home team, you don't think you have recruits on campus, and they hear that?
Yeah, no one wants to be in front of that.
They're gonna say, "Why would I want to come there when they're booing their own team?" So as fans, we got to do our job in it too. And I know we went from this side, but we got to do our part as fans to try to be as positive and encouraging and be more supportive. And I've tried doing that more this year than I have in the past because I understand what's going on. And it's going to take time. It's going to take time to get it right because once you get it right, then the train is going to keep rolling. Look at Wisconsin. Once they got it right and got their system in and got the leadership there, the train is rolling. And I don't see that train stopping for a while. I don't.
What's up, Pat? Pat?
Giving shouts out, huh?
Yeah. Well, Pat is, Pat. Pat is the guy that we used to run the last few years when we did our Big Ten Conference Pick'em game.
Oh, is it? On the morning show?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, they didn't want to do it this year, huh? They got tired of being whipped a lot.
They got tired of that.
Yeah.
It got old. They couldn't recruit strong enough. All right. So it's been 55 minutes, so we should probably wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
If you want the better audio version, because we're using this camera to do all this live stuff, and it's probably picking up background or whatever. If you want the better audio version, look for the podcast. It comes out later today, which is just the audio version of all this.
Right.
And then otherwise, you can always go to Touchdown Tommy, Facebook Touchdown Tommy, Twitter Touchdown Tommy. Just look for Touchdown Tommy. And Tommy is with an IE. I see a lot of you guys still spelling it with a Y. Like, come on, it's been 20 years, man. Like, IE.
Yeah, I'm so used to it now. You know, I was in a Hy-Vee and ordered something in Hy-Vee the other day, and the lady put T-O-M-Y, and I said, excuse me, it's IE.
Yeah,
and so I mean, you know, just people just think that it's why.
They mean well.
They mean well, but
they do.
You know, until now it doesn't fit me anymore.
Yeah, Pat says, we're sick of getting killed. Yeah, I'm sure you are. What else? Any last thoughts? Wrap up?
Hey, people come out, support the team next week. It's going to be a tough one.
Is it? I didn't see when's.
I think it's 6:30 kickoff.
6:30.
I think the BTN, Big Ten Network is taking that game. You know, so just come out and support and come positive, come loud, come be ready to cheer. Because you never know. You know, no one thought Iowa State was going to beat Oklahoma yesterday.
Woo.
And that happened. And they beat them on the road with a backup quarterback.
That's crazy.
You know, so anything's happened, anything's possible. You know, because you still got to play the game.
Yep, 6:30 kickoff.
So come out, be loud, support, because it's a big game.
It's a huge game.
It's a huge game. And who knows, if Nebraska finally figure out a way to pull this off, that could change your mindset. Yeah. On this program where Coach Riley is going, and it could change the whole course. So it could put Nebraska into that next level to where they get the train going.
And what would be great is instead of Nebraska fans at the game, instead of us always watching and waiting for a big play to get rallied up, it'd be great if the fans just rallied up and fired up the team.
Right.
Fire up the team. It always seems like nowadays it's the opposite. The team has to do something, then the crowd gets fired up.
Right.
Let's flip that around.
Let's flip it around. Let's go out there. Let's be loud from the first play to the last play, no matter what. That's the challenge I put out there.
Bingo. Anything else?
Nope. Till next week.
Next week, guys.